My name's Marcus Hall. I'm 45 years old, a retired Army logistics officer. And for most of my adult life, I thought I understood loyalty. I thought I understood what it meant to protect something, a country, a home, a family. After 12 years in uniform, 3 of them spent overseas, dodging IEDs and missing birthdays, I was ready to settle down. That was the plan. I came back home to a small town just outside Roanoke, Virginia, and married the woman I'd been writing letters to since boot camp, Angela. She was beautiful, stubborn, and had this quiet strength that made you think nothing could shake her. We weren't perfect, but we were solid, or so I thought. We had a daughter, Kayla, who just turned 20 and was off at college studying psychology. I was proud of her. Hell, I was proud of the life we'd built. After I left the Army, Angela and I opened a little hardware store, Hall's Supply and Home, and we ran it together for over a decade. I handled the front, the orders, the customer repairs. She kept the books and did the marketing. We were a team. People in town respected us, said we were that couple, the steady ones, the ones you could count on. But you never really know what's going on behind closed doors, do you? At first, the cracks in our marriage were hairline, barely noticeable. She started pulling away physically, claiming she was tired or stressed or just not in the mood. I didn't push. I figured it was just a phase, something all couples went through. But weeks became months. Her smile started fading, and her laughter, the real kind, from the gut, became rare. She'd spend more time on her phone, turn the screen away when I walked into the room. I'd hear her giggling sometimes late at night, but when I asked, she said she was just watching TikToks. I wanted to believe her. I really did. I wasn't the best at expressing my feelings. The Army teaches you to hold things in, keep your chin up, keep moving. But at home, that distance grew heavier. She stopped asking about my day. Meals got colder. Sex was gone entirely. I started sleeping in the guest room after pretending to fall asleep watching TV. And still, I didn't want to believe something was wrong. I blamed myself. Maybe I'd gotten soft, out of shape. Maybe I was too routine, too predictable. I got up early, opened the shop, fixed what needed fixing, came home, cracked a beer, and repeated it all the next day. I thought stability was a good thing. I didn't realize she saw it as a cage. Then one Tuesday, it all started to unravel. I remember it clear as day. It was pouring outside. A storm had rolled in overnight, and the kitchen sink started leaking badly, water pooling underneath, dripping fast. I went to check it out and saw that one of the old copper pipes had rusted clean through. Normally, I'd fix it myself, but Angela insisted we call it professional. Said I was too busy, said I'd earned a break. That should have been a red flag. She hated spending money on contractors, always said they overcharged. But this time she was weirdly insistent. Let someone else deal with it, she told me. You've done enough. I didn't argue. I was tired. I told her to make the call. And just like that, the fuse was lit. I just didn't know the explosion was already happening inside my own home. The plumber showed up the next morning around 9:30. I was at the store, running late because one of our deliveries got stuck out on I-81, so I didn't meet him in person. Angela called him from some local handyman app, said he had good reviews, fair prices, and lived just outside town. His name was Rick. About 35, maybe younger, built like a guy who either lifted weights or never skipped leg day in his life. I came home around noon to grab some paperwork, and he was already there, under the sink, tools out, shirt off. Just a tight white tank, damp with sweat, clinging to his chest like something out of a damn soap opera. Angela was standing a little too close, laughing a little too hard, offering him a second cup of coffee. I brushed it off. People flirt, even if they don't mean anything by it. But something in the way she looked at him, that tilt of her head, the sparkle in her eye I hadn't seen in months, it made my gut tighten. I told myself I was being paranoid, insecure.
So I nodded, said hey, and went to the back room to get the receipts. But as I passed through the hallway, I caught something else. Her hand brushed his arm when she handed him the cup. Not by accident. And his smirk said he noticed. Still, I didn't say anything. What the hell was I supposed to say? That my wife was being too friendly to the guy fixing our plumbing? That I was jealous of a sweaty stranger on his knees in our kitchen? That night she was unusually cheerful, made dinner, poured me a drink, even asked about my day. I should have been happy, relieved, but instead I felt off, like something fake was playing out, and I was the only one who didn't have the script. I asked her how the repair went. She said Rick was a lifesaver, knew exactly what to do, didn't overcharge, even cleaned up after himself. She said it like she was impressed. Too impressed. Then she added, he's going to come back tomorrow to finish a few things under the crawl space, just so you know. And that was it. No invite to be around, no mention of me helping, just a heads up. I barely slept that night. My mind kept going to places it didn't want to go. But deep down, I think I already knew. I just didn't want to admit it yet. Not to myself, not to anyone.
The next day, I pretended to go to work, but parked 2 blocks away and walked back. I didn't have a real plan, maybe just catch them talking too close, maybe nothing at all. I told myself I was overreacting, being stupid, but something in me couldn't let it go. At 10:15, his truck pulled into the driveway. Same guy, same smug smile, toolbox in hand. She let him in wearing a tank top that hugged her way too tight for just plumber company. I watched from behind the neighbor's hedge, hidden like some creep, ashamed but too obsessed to walk away. For 30 minutes, I waited, heard nothing, saw nothing. Then I moved to the side of the house and crouched by the basement window. That's when I heard it. Muffled voices, low, close, then a laugh from her. A soft moan followed. My stomach dropped. I leaned closer, heart in my throat, and then I saw shadows moving on the far wall. Her silhouette, straddling something, bouncing slow and steady. I couldn't hear everything, but I didn't need to. I knew. I knew exactly what was happening in my own damn house while I sat in the dirt like some ghost of a husband. My legs went numb. I wanted to scream, break in, pull him off her, and ask what the hell was wrong with her. But instead, I stood there shaking, breath caught in my chest like a stone. When it stopped, when I heard them laugh again, casual, like nothing had happened, like it was all some sick little secret they shared, I walked away. I didn't even confront her, not yet. I went back to my car, hands trembling, heart hollow. I waited the rest of the day pretending I hadn't seen what I saw. When I got home later that evening, she kissed me like everything was normal, asked how my day was. I said, fine. She smiled. I smiled. And inside, everything inside me started to rot.
The next few days were a blur of pretending. I kissed her in the mornings, ate her dinners, laughed at her stories, but inside, I was building a wall brick by brick. I couldn't sleep. I'd lie in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully like nothing had happened. Every time her phone buzzed, my chest tightened. I started checking it at night, waiting until she dozed off. One night, I saw a message from a contact saved as Brandon Pipes, a little too on the nose for a fake name. He had sent her a selfie from his van, shirtless, flexing, and she replied, "Too bad I can't call you tonight. He's home." That was the moment something in me finally snapped. It wasn't just the sex. It was the arrogance. The fact she let that man into our home, into my bed, into the space where we built our life together. I started planning, Not revenge, not at first, just clarity, proof, something undeniable. I bought a small hidden camera, wired it in the basement vent facing the laundry area, the same room they used last time. I didn't know if they'd be stupid enough to come back. But 2 days later, she told me she'd need the house to herself for a Zoom yoga class and asked if I could go to the range for a few hours. I agreed, smiled even, told her to enjoy herself. Drove off, parked around the block, watched again. And at exactly 11:20 a.m., he pulled up. This time, I didn't just watch, I recorded everything. I watched her open the door in short shorts and no bra. I watched them go straight to the basement, watched through the app as they kissed like animals, tore each other's clothes off, and she climbed on top of him like she was possessed. No shame, no hesitation. And then she said something that shattered me completely. "He'll never know. He's too busy playing soldier." I don't know how long I sat in my truck after that. An hour? Maybe more. Just staring at the screen, replaying the sound of her voice. Not just betrayal. Contempt. That's what crushed me. She wasn't just cheating. She didn't even respect me. I was a joke to her, an obstacle between her and whatever thrill she was chasing. I didn't go home that night. I slept in the truck. Cold, alone, numb.
The next morning, I drove straight to my buddy Alex's place. Another vet, someone I trusted like a brother. I showed him the footage. He didn't say anything at first, just watched in silence, jaw clenched, fingers twitching. When it ended, he looked at me and said, "You walking away or you're burning it all down?" I didn't answer. I didn't know yet, but something inside me had changed. I wasn't going to confront her in tears or ask her why. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to be methodical. I copied the video onto 3 USB sticks, one for me, one in a secure cloud, one I mailed to myself at my unit's post office. I booked a session with a divorce attorney that same afternoon. Told her everything. Showed her the proof. She was cold and efficient, and I appreciated that. She said, "With this kind of footage, and given that we own the house under my name, I'd likely keep everything, even custody of our dog." That made me smirk. The dog always liked me better anyway. I waited 2 more days, watched her lie to me a few more times, watched her make my coffee like she hadn't just been getting railed by a man who fixes leaky sinks for a living. Then on Saturday, I set the trap. Told her I was going on a weekend field training trip. Packed a bag, kissed her goodbye, parked down the street, waited. 45 minutes later, his truck showed up. She let him in. They didn't waste time. They headed straight to the basement. I waited exactly 10 minutes. Then I walked in. Calm, quiet, heart like a hammer in my chest. I opened the basement door and stepped down the stairs. She was mid-laugh when she saw me. She froze. He panicked, scrambling to pull his pants up. I didn't yell. I just held up the phone. Showed them the video. Said, "This was 2 days ago. You lied then. You're lying now. You can pack your shit and get out. Both of you." She stammered something. An apology, an excuse. I don't know. I wasn't listening. I turned around and walked upstairs. Sat on the porch. Called Alex. "It's done," I said. He didn't ask for details, just said, "I'll be there in 10. When she came up with her bag, I didn't even look at her. I just pointed to the curb. Watched her get in that man's truck. Watched it drive away. I felt empty. But it was the kind of empty that meant something had been removed. Like a tumor. Like poison. A month later, the papers were signed. No drama. No drawn-out fights. She didn't contest anything. Maybe out of guilt. Maybe because she knew I had her cornered. I kept the house, the dog, my peace. She tried texting me once. Just, I made a mistake. I blocked the number. These days, I wake up early, drink my coffee in silence,
and breathe a little easier. The pain is still there, buried deep, but I'm no longer living in a lie. And that's freedom.